The Glacial Augment got reworked recently, and I've been trying a handful of supports that can work well with the rune. After playing this support for quite a while, I present to you Glacial Augment Zyra support. I will separate this video into 3 different parts where I will be going over Zyra as a support, how Glacial Augment affects the support role, and how Glacial Augment allows Zyra to play her maximum potential. All the content you see in this video is from my gameplay on Zyra over the past week, so this game should be up to date. And let's get into it. I think Zyra is an amazing support. Being both very skill expressive and not too difficult to pick up, she has a lot of damage and a decent amount of CC that makes her pretty good, but also not too difficult to play against. Zyra forces the player to think outside the box in terms of placing their plants down and what plants to use in certain situations. And it allows her to have a very high skill ceiling, and it could seem pretty intimidating to learn at first, but once you master that aspect of Zyra, she becomes probably one of the best mage supports in the game. I will show you a clip of me playing Zyra after getting ganked, and yeah. So that clip was just to kind of show that Zyra is really good at kind of counter ganking and getting kills as well. She's kind of like Janna in the way that she is really good at stopping dives, but unlike Janna, she can fight back. She can E, she can Q, she can use her plants to fight back. But move on from the clip. During laning phase, Zyra actually does pretty well into tank supports, and besides Ezreal, there isn't really an ADC that counters her. After level 3, she can consistently poke and put pressure on the enemies from a safe distance using her plants. And once objectives start showing up, this is when Zyra really shines because she's able to put multiple plants on the objectives, so the enemies are kind of fighting onto our territory instead of them having the upper ground. Zyra is able to have the upper ground with her plants. But besides objectives, she just does pretty good damage later in the game once you get either Liandry's or Imperial Mandate with this build. So enemies will question fighting you, especially if there are teammates nearby, but even so, 1v1s late game with Zyra, she can still do pretty well. But let's move on to the next section. Ever since they reworked Glacial Augment, we've seen heavy CC support shine way more. It allowed supports to have a lot more kill pressure and a lot more kill potential in lanes just because of the increased CC from Glacial Augment. We see this most in builds like Morgana support, but even in supports like Leona or Trundle, Glacial Augment allows us to have more fun with these builds. But besides the fun, I think some Glacial Augment builds allow supports to become even better than they originally are, just because in Zyra's case, for example, her plants allow her to do more damage with the slow. But that's really it for Glacial Augment. I just want to have a quick recap, and we will go into the final section. As I said earlier, I think Zyra during laning phase can consistently put pressure on enemies using her plants, but with Glacial Augment, not only can she slow with the CC, which can allow the ADC to make a play, but while enemies are slowed, she does more damage with her plant because they can hit more enemies more often, just because the enemies are slowed. And usually when enemies get slowed by Glacial Augment, they would run away instead of attacking the plants. So it overall just increases Zyra's DPS by a lot actually, because it allows the plants to hit more, and the plants are really all of her damage. Not only does Glacial Augment allow her plants to do more damage, but when they are slowed, they have a higher chance of getting knocked up by Zyra's ultimate. The knockup from Zyra's ultimate really allows the enemy, or allows Zyra and her ADC to get kills, at least during the laning phase, it almost guarantees a kill without the enemies either burning flash or heal for the movement speed. So I think Glacial Augment really forces the enemy into playing into an uncomfortable situation where they either have to, one, respect Zyra's range and not get any CS or XP, or two, try to fight her and possibly even die. Okay, that is the end of my Glacial Augment Zyra kind of analysis video. I hope you enjoyed it, and remember, I do encourage you to try out different builds for yourself. There are many different things that might work for different people. I know for me, this Zyra Glacial Augment is probably one of the best builds I've tried in my whole career playing League. But for other people, it might not work as well. So I would encourage you to try different builds if you want to. Don't just take my word for it because, yeah, again, my experiences are different than yours. And I like playing different supports, and maybe you do. So, yeah, just try different builds. And don't forget to like and subscribe. Comment if you think I could do anything better with this video. And yeah, bye.